Mayong adlaw mga amigo, my name is Moon. If you're new to my channel, and as you can see from the title of the video, these are the things I hate and love about dark academia. So in case you have been following my social media accounts for months now, I have fallen into the hole of dark academia. It opened my eyes as to who I am as a person and also rekindled my love for things which I have loved in the past. So in case you didn't know, dark academia is all about principles of classic literature, endless pursuit of knowledge in academics, old universities, authors like Oscar Wilde, reading by candlelight, and staining your fingertips black with ink as you write your letters deep into the night. However, I should say that I am not at all blind to the problems of this aesthetic, and that's why I made this video. So before anything else, let's start with the things I love about dark academia. So the very first thing which I love about dark academia is its approach of knowledge is life-giving and desperate. And I should say I have been missing this kind of feeling when it comes to education. When I was in high school, this is the approach. We were taught that in order to have like a fantastic education, you should have knowledge and learn something. However, when I was in college, that went away because in college I care more about my grades because of the cutoff which the university has given to the program which I have been taking in college. So basically, for a few years now, I have been missing the feeling of like great knowledge, like thinking education as life-giving and desperate. And yes, I am truly grateful that I have discovered this aesthetic because it rekindled my love for learning. Like in the past few months, I was able to learn more than what I have learned in college, to be honest, because yeah. So the second thing which I love about this aesthetic is the appreciation for classics. So the very first books that made me fall in love with reading are classics. And I am very grateful for those like books such as Pride and Prejudice, like Sense and Sensibility, Treasure Island. Those are the books that made me fall in love with reading. Like one of the very first books that made me fall in love with reading. But then I grew up and discovered the book community, and I went into like a foray and have forgotten about classics. So when I discovered this aesthetic, I was really grateful again because it rekindled my love for classics, which I'm truly grateful for. The very third thing which I love about dark academia is all about old and vintage things. So I have an affinity for anything vintage, and I think it's mostly because of my love for anything historical. Like when I was younger, I loved reading by the candlelight, listening to old songs, and I think there is a time in my life where I only watch like old movies, like the black and white movies with like the grainy quality, and I even went far by watching like old soundless movies, and it's amazing. And during that time also, I only watched like historical documentaries, and when I discovered dark academia, I was like, I am finally home. It's my childhood, and I really love it so much. The very fourth thing, and I think the last, is the appreciation for classical music, the arts and humanities. Like, I'm always in for like appreciation for arts, humanities, and classical music because let's be real, in the real world like today, most especially in the education system, like the arts, humanities, and classical music is not that appreciated compared to the sciences. And it's really fascinating that there is like a resurgence for art, humanities, and classical music, and I really love it. So now let's go through the things I hate about dark academia. There are only two things so far, and the very first one is it is very elitist. I should say it is very elitist. Just like what I've mentioned, dark academia includes like old universities, and most especially Oxford and Cambridge. And to be honest with you, I don't think like knowledge should only be on that particular department, like the higher education, because there are a lot of things to be learned even though you are in the high school level only. So I don't think dark academia should only be like on that like sphere, because education can be garnered anywhere. Like most of the people I've known who hasn't like been into college or a college dropout are very successful, and most of them are really smart and knowledgeable in a lot of things. So I don't think like dark academia should focus only on higher education. Like it should be a general knowledge, like general education. It should focus on that, because like dark academia's focus is like having knowledge as life-giving, right? So it should be applied to all levels as possible. And yes, so now let's go to the second thing which I don't like about dark academia, and it is very white dominated. I should say that I don't really have problems with that currently, because I know most of the most of the books under dark academia are mainly white dominated. And honestly, one of the many reasons as to why I really advocated for dark academia in my channel is because of the reason that I wanted to add more people of color in the scene. I want to add myself. I want to give representation to people like me who wanted to join this aesthetic, like just like some sort of an inspiration, I guess. Inspiration is such a big word. Like, also, I should say that I don't think we should mainly focus only on like the Oxford and Cambridge type of universities. In the Philippines, there are a lot of old universities that you can focus on for dark academia. There is UST. UST is like the very first one. There is Ateneo de Manila, although like the buildings are not that old anymore, but there are a lot of historical universities. In Cagayan de Oro, there is Xavier University. There is Liceo. Like, it's so amazing. Like, our culture in our own in the Philippines is very rich to have like the dark academia aesthetic. For the literature, diversify literature. For example, we have Noli, Alfili, poems by Jose Rizal, Florante at Laura. And let's go to mythology. We don't need to focus only on like the Greek mythology. There are a lot of mythology in our country, and it's so amazing. Like, I have read and researched like currently on our mythology, and it's so rich and diverse, and I really love it so much. Oh, I think there is an additional to the things I hate about dark academia, and I'm going to add it here. The last thing I hate about dark academia is that it promotes unhealthy study habits. So as much as I love thinking as knowledge as life-giving, I don't think it's right to like sacrifice your health to knowledge, even though like it's very tempting. To all of the youngsters out there who wanted to be a dark academic, please don't do that, because it will only affect your brain and you cannot learn more if you're sleep deprived. So take note. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. If you have opinions, please comment it down below and let's discuss. Also, if you're a dark academic, also comment it down below, and goodbye.
Vad hakten alla